I'm Kaitlin Busch, Speech Language Pathologist at Brains, and this is the Brains Speech Bubble. I've created the Brains Speech Bubble to give families some ideas for ways to help improve their children's speech and language skills from home. These videos will feature simple, at-home activities which address a variety of target areas, including articulation, receptive and expressive language, executive functioning, phonological awareness, among others. Don't worry, as we get into each area, I'll provide a brief description of what these terms mean. Today, we're going to talk about articulation. Articulation describes how we speak and can be broken down into different levels of difficulty for practice. First, there are different contexts to practice target sounds. These contexts are achieved across a hierarchy, which basically means that a child will typically need to master one level before moving on to the next, and so on. Context starts with isolation, or just saying the target sound. Next, the sound is worked on at the syllable level, then the word level, then the 2 to 3 word phrases, then single sentences, and finally conversation. Second, there are different word positions for the target sound, which generally include initial, medial, and final. For example, if the target sound is G, an initial target could be go, a medial target could be bigger, and a final target could be bag or dog. There's a lot more detail behind target word selection, but hopefully, if your child is already receiving speech therapy, you have some idea of what target sounds, context, and word position they're working on. What it all boils down to is consistent practice is really critical to both make and maintain progress. Now, let's get into the fun part, our activity idea for the day. Today's articulation activity idea is show and tell. For little ones, you're going to help them go through their toys, books, miscellaneous items throughout the home, and find objects that have their sounds in them. Older children should be able to do this on their own, but don't be afraid to help if they're having a little trouble. Start with just one sound for the day. If your child is working on the G sound, try to find 5 things with G in them. Once you find the 5 objects, have your child present on them. Share some things they like about the object, or describe the object, or anything else they'd like to share. Be sure to help with modeling of target sound production and providing feedback when the target is produced correctly. Saying, "Great job, that was a great G," is a good example of that. Don't be afraid to join in. This really should be fun. Find something with the target sound and do your own presentation. This is a great opportunity for you to model accurate production of the target. I have a few examples here of things for the G sound that you could do for a show and tell. First, I have a book, Go Dog Go, which as you can see provides many opportunities to practice the G in the initial position. Next, I have a yoga mat, which gives us a chance to practice G in the medial position. And finally, I have an Easter egg, which is a great chance to practice G in the final position. Be careful when you're working on final target sounds though, because as soon as you add an S to make the target plural, then the target sound of G is no longer in the final position, and the skill you're working on is just a little bit different, and occasionally that can be a little bit above where your child's current level is, so just be aware of that. Here's a quick note in addition on selecting target words for articulation practice. Don't worry about how the word is spelled. This comes up a lot with the K sound. Many words are spelled with a C, but it actually is a K sound that you're producing. If you aren't sure, just say the word out loud and see if you hear the K. And when in doubt, just skip it. A few examples of this could include car, cat, coat, those kind of things. As far as feedback goes, if your child says a target word incorrectly, you're going to want to model for them the correct production. For example, if your child says do instead of go, simply repeat back to them what the sound should have been, emphasizing the correct consonant. "Oh, I heard you say do. I think you meant go with a G. Go." After doing this a few times, offer the child the opportunity to try the target again. You're going to want to try to limit their frustration, though. We don't want them feeling discouraged from even trying if they're having a difficult time making progress. Remember, we want this practice to be fun and for frustration to be limited. The most important thing is that your child continues to communicate and that they know what they're sharing is important and valuable. I'm also really excited to share that I'm offering teletherapy for new and existing clients through Brains. So that will be available for the duration of this stay-at-home order. Please call the number shown if you'd like to schedule an appointment or ask any questions, or you can also reach me directly at the email listed. Well, that'll do it for today's speech bubble. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, keep those kids talking.